popular question that we get, what is the deal with marijuana, specifically with diabetes?
That this is somehow a gateway to it. And again, one of the problems is
the cannabinoid system indirectly affects many other systems.
Some of the scientific background between marijuana and diabetes. And the other thing is,
a massive study of more than 4 million people has revealed that cannabis users face nearly 4 times the risk of developing type 2 diabetes compared to non-users. That's not a small increase. It's a dramatic warning sign with global implications, especially as cannabis use continues to rise worldwide. What's behind this surprising connection? Studying the connection between cannabis and diabetes risk, a new large-scale study has uncovered a concerning link between cannabis use and a heightened risk of type 2 diabetes. Researchers at Boston Medical Center reviewed electronic health records from 54 healthcare organizations across the United States and Europe. Using the TriNetX research network, they examined records collected between 2010 and 2018, focusing on adults aged 18 to 50. The study identified nearly 97,000 people with cannabis-related diagnoses ranging from occasional use to dependency, including issues such as intoxication and withdrawal. These individuals were compared with more than 4 million non-users who had no history of substance abuse or major chronic illnesses. To ensure accuracy, the researchers carefully matched participants based on risk factors already associated with diabetes, such as age, sex, cholesterol levels, blood pressure, and existing heart disease. They also controlled for alcohol and cocaine use. All participants were followed for 5 years to track the development of type 2 diabetes, with advanced statistical methods applied to reduce bias. Cannabis users show elevated risk. The results were clear. Over the 5-year period, 2.2% of cannabis users developed type 2 diabetes, compared to just 0.6% of non-users. Although the percentages may appear close at first glance, the difference translates into nearly 4 times the risk of diabetes among cannabis users. In terms of survival analysis, meaning the percentage of participants who remained diabetes-free, 96.82% of cannabis users avoided diabetes, while 99.15% of non-users did. This seemingly small gap represents thousands of additional cases of diabetes attributable to cannabis use when examined at the population level. The sheer size of the study makes its findings particularly influential, with more than 4 million participants across different healthcare systems and countries. The results reflect what happens in everyday medical practice, rather than in tightly controlled laboratory conditions. This provides valuable insight into how cannabis might impact health on a large scale as its use becomes more widespread globally. Possible mechanisms behind the risk. Researchers have proposed several reasons why cannabis could increase the likelihood of type 2 diabetes. One major factor is its effect on the endocannabinoid system, particularly the CB1 receptor. Overstimulation of this receptor may promote fat accumulation in the abdomen and liver, both of which are strongly linked to insulin resistance. When the body becomes resistant to insulin, glucose is not absorbed efficiently into cells, which eventually leads to elevated blood sugar and diabetes. Another key contributor may be the munchies, or strong cravings for high-calorie, carbohydrate-rich foods that many cannabis users experience. Regular indulgence in such eating patterns can lead to weight gain, poor metabolic health, and, ultimately, diabetes. Beyond eating behaviors, cannabis may also play a role in low-grade inflammation, oxidative stress, and possible beta cell dysfunction in the pancreas. These processes all interfere with glucose regulation. According to lead researcher Ibrahim Kamel, MD, cannabis may impact diabetes risk even among people who are otherwise healthy and not considered at high risk. The study excluded participants with typical risk factors such as obesity, high cholesterol, or hypertension, yet cannabis users still showed a striking increase in diabetes development. Lifestyle factors that may contribute. Lifestyle choices beyond cannabis use could also amplify the risk of diabetes. For example, reduced levels of physical activity and concurrent use of substances such as alcohol and nicotine are often observed among cannabis users. These habits further burden metabolic health. The interaction between cannabis use and such lifestyle behaviors makes it challenging to pinpoint a single cause, but the overall trend suggests a compounding effect that places users in a more vulnerable position. While this research cannot yet determine whether occasional cannabis use carries the same risk as frequent use, it does suggest that any level of use deserves scrutiny. Future studies will be needed to assess whether reducing cannabis intake can help lower diabetes risk and to clarify the biological mechanisms at work. Broader public health implications. The findings emerge at a time when cannabis is becoming increasingly mainstream and legalized in many parts of the world. In 2021, an estimated 219 million people, about 4.3% of the global adult population, reported using cannabis, according to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. With such widespread use, even a relatively modest increase in risk could translate into millions of new cases of type 2 diabetes worldwide. This shift challenges earlier research that hinted at potential health benefits of cannabis, such as anti-inflammatory effects or appetite regulation. While those findings remain of interest, the new evidence points to significant risks that may outweigh potential advantages, at least in relation to metabolic health. Expert insights on reducing risk. Health experts suggest several steps individuals can take to mitigate their risk of developing type 2 diabetes, regardless of cannabis use. Chad Larson, NMD, DC, CEO, and founder of Adapt Lab, emphasizes the importance of waist circumference as a predictor of metabolic health. A measurement above 40 inches in men and 35 inches in women strongly indicates insulin resistance, even in people who otherwise appear healthy. Meal timing is another effective strategy. Larson recommends replacing evening snacks with 25 grams of protein at dinner. This practice helps stabilize blood sugar overnight, which may in turn reduce food cravings often associated with cannabis use. Over time, consistent protein intake in the evening can support more balanced insulin secretion. Exercise also plays a vital role. Even a brisk 20-minute walk each day significantly improves glucose uptake by muscle tissue, helping to keep blood sugar levels under control. When combined with healthy eating and attention to waist measurement, these practices form a strong defense against the onset of type 2 diabetes. While the exact mechanisms behind cannabis-related diabetes risk remain under investigation, the evidence points to a meaningful connection that cannot be ignored. The study underscores the need for individuals and healthcare providers to view cannabis not just as a recreational substance, but as one with potential long-term health consequences. If you found this video informative, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest health updates.